Good day. We are going to be experiencing a bit of Season of Discovery, a journey from level 1 all the way through. We're going to be playing a hunter and seeing how things go. And yeah, just enjoying a bit of the ride. Don't really know how I'm going to break this up, edit this, or do whatever. But yeah, we're going to basically just kind of go for it and see how things go. So stick around if you want to see what happens. So Grush begins his journey. Very kind of like, obviously, Season of Discovery doesn't really kick off, until like basically you get your first couple ruins, until things really start to kick off. Discovery's Delight is in place. Obviously, there is an accelerated EXP bonus, which is pretty cool. So if you're someone who's like been interested in Classic for a while, I would highly suggest that you consider playing Season of Discovery. It's probably one of the easier ways to really enjoy Classic to a certain extent, because you do have that accelerated EXP gain. You are kind of OP due to obviously the Season of Discovery ruins. So yeah, it's definitely something I would highly suggest. Obviously, if you're someone who's maybe looking for their first time experience of Classic and really wants to kind of enjoy that old school feel, probably Season of Discovery is not for you. But if you want a little bit of that mixture of both with maybe something a bit different, then I would definitely suggest Season of Discovery, because it is, different, it is something new, and yeah, I would highly suggest that you give it a go. It's really cool in that sense. Like, it's a really fun variant of the game in that way. I will say one thing I really enjoy about Hunter as a class in Classic, especially the earlier levels, is the idea of cycling between your weapons. So, like, a large portion of, gameplay for hunters in retail is pet management and, range gameplay. Unless you play the survival spec, then obviously you are, a melee class. One really cool thing about Classic or Season of Discovery, or, whichever way you want to phrase it, you get this feeling of having to cycle between them. So you can hit with the bow, but then when they get in close, it doesn't work using the bow. So you have to then switch up to, alternative gameplay. And I think that, for me, is possibly the most interesting dynamic, because it is a different kind of management of game style, and it becomes obviously a bit easier later on. You get your pet, you get certain different factors to kind of like partake in, but yeah, there is this feeling, I would say, of like, definitely, at least for me, better versatility with the hunter class and its gameplay style. I still do really like, and I've always enjoyed the notion that you have to kind of go through the quest text. It's always something that I've just found interesting, because obviously the game's enticing you to read the text, right? Because the thing is, like, the actual gameplay requires you to read the quest. There's a lot less indicators on your map that indicate, exactly what's going on. So it wants you to read your quests, it wants you to read these items, so that you can see, okay, I need to now go to the hunter trainer and engage in that. And it's just super duper important. It makes it so interesting, the engagement that you have with the game. And I think, like, for me, it's definitely one of the aspects that provides players with a little bit more immersion into the game. Like, yeah, you can skim read, of course, Burning Blade, etc., but it helps. Anytime you have to engage with the game, it helps, and it makes things, far more interesting. So for me, I think it's always a redeeming quality of Classic that kind of harkens back to things. I know there's some really cool add-ons that make, like, the AI and the voiceovers and stuff. Those are quite helpful, and they do make things a bit cooler. It also allows you to read the text quest and kind of accept, but yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, picking up our first ruin, obviously the beginning ruin, find the lost ruin by studying Scorpids, learn the ruin's power, then report back to Jinshan. Engraving engraved gloves. You deal 100% weapon damage with your Chimera Shot rune, refreshing the current sting of your target and triggering an effect. Obviously super duper powerful, really cool. Speaking to the hunter trainer, I believe we can learn the serpent sting. So yeah, rune's definitely a big factor in making the game feel way more accessible as well. So yeah, super duper keen, super excited. Okay, so we picked up our Rune of the Chimera, which is great. We're going to use it to teach us a new engraving ability. It says here, you learned how to create a new item, engraved gloves. Where would I see that? You learned how to create a new item, engraved gloves. What the hell? Okay, there. Click to engrave rune on hands. So now we can engrave ourselves. Boom. And that gives us Chimera Shot. Bam. So what does that do exactly? Let's see. Ooh, nice. So you deal 100% weapon damage, refreshing the current sting, Viper sting. Okay. And then it'll just refresh whichever damage that is. So if we hit the Scorpion sting, they'll do extra damage. Viper sting will do more mana regen. Okay, that's interesting. Definitely some nice burst damage as well. Cool. Very good. We also now seem to have picked up a new rune again as well. Rune of Explosive Shot, which dropped from Sarkoth, which is pretty cool. And what does this one do? Engrave your gloves with Explosive Shot rune. You fire an explosive charge into the enemy, dealing 3 to 4 fire damage within 8 yards, and the charge will deal damage again every second. And again, that goes on gloves. So it's either Chimera Shot or we go with Explosive Shot. Okay, that's interesting. So we'll have to see. One definitely feels more single target, but we'll take a look at that. That seems super interesting. I'll actually try it out quick, just to hand in this quest. Seeing the deed you've done for me, I kind of fail so easily. Back to the den unassisted. To Gorlock at the den. Okay, cool. I shall accept. And then let's fire Explosive Shot. Okay, it's definitely for AoE, because yeah, that did like no damage. But at this stage, I don't know how good AoE is for us as a character. In theory, I'm not too big a fan of it, because the mobs are kind of spread out and we don't have a lot of incentive towards doing AoE damage right now. Maybe when we get a pet, it'll be a lot better to kind of bring everything together, because the pet will be able to kind of store up mobs and give us a little bit more, I guess, ability to deal damage. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. Got the miss straight away. Not a fan. Chimera Shot definitely feels more impactful, at least right now. It is made, there's just a lot of range bursts that you can do. So like, here you can open up with an arrow, instantly fire another one. That's 2 shots basically for the price of 1. Get another 2 shots in, instantly hit with your Scorpion or Raptor Strike, I should say, and then bam, like you're basically good to go. You've got half the health of your level 4 mob, pretty much on the spot, which, I don't know, feels really good compared to the Exploding Shot. Obviously, remains to be seen. The dot effect could be really good on like a multitude of enemies, but for now, I don't know, I'm really feeling this Chimera Shot kind of opening. Look at that, boom. And then you get a crit, and then like almost dead. It's very strong. I don't know if there's also been a loot buff, because it feels like there's a lot of loot dropping. And I know it's just mainly grays, but it definitely feels like every mob here has dropped some kind of weapon, armor, for me to use, which I'm not complaining about. Maybe I've got good RNG, but it definitely feels, yeah, definitely feels that way. So yeah, pretty good. Honestly, opening level. There we go. We got. Let's sell this actually quickly. Pretty good opening, like strength for the hunter. Honestly, feels really good. First of all, like feels very good. Nice early runes as well. Feeling very strong. There's like, 2 runes, obviously both for the glove, which is something to, I guess, factor in. But I mean, yeah, nice variation. Really, really, really strong. At least it felt like very strong opening abilities. Like the Chimera shot very quickly changed my gameplay style, or gave me like instant burst damage that I just would not have on like classic, or traditional classic, I should say. So that felt very good. And yeah, like I said, it feels like we're getting a lot of loot, because you can see there, like, I don't need these quest items. I won't need these quest items either, pretty much. Yeah, it definitely feels very strong. Very quick access to some powerful abilities. And now we're going to be able to pair up as well this Chimera shot with this Serpent Sting that we're about to get here, which is really good. So I'm super excited to see basically how strong this Serpent Sting ability is going to be, because yeah, we are going to definitely, I mean, you can see there, like we're not dropping new items. So Serpent Sting is going to be super powerful, because Serpent Sting is going to basically refresh, will add additional damage. So by processing Serpent Sting and then firing Chimera Shot, you can actually add in 40% of the damage, which is pretty cool. Eventually we'll obviously also get our hunters or pet, but yeah, feeling very good early on here, like very good. So yeah, we'll have to see how this goes.